This is Goku-san, DBZ, and I'm going to be doing a special top 10 list for tomorrow for the top 10 Sunday. So instead I'm going to do what I was going to do today. If you're wondering, what is the top 10 special I'm doing tomorrow? Well, tomorrow is, of course, WrestleMania 32. So, in honor of WrestleMania tomorrow, I will be counting down the top 10 WrestleManias. So, and the one I was originally going to do tomorrow, top 10 alternative bands. Now, this includes both pop, rock, and stuff. As long as it's considered alternative genre and influential. And also, these are my own personal picks for favorite alternative bands, just so you know. So this won't be based on multiple opinions from many different websites like a lot of my videos do. And this will be strictly my own personal favorites growing up throughout the years, and bands even more recently I've gone into. These are bands I personally really enjoy. Some of these bands people may not know actually are alternative. So, you may be surprised, because I wanted to actually look up some of the bands just to make sure I had everything down. Okay. Of course, like always, I'll have my honorable mentions before number 1. Coming in at number 10 is definitely a very underrated alternative rock band of the 90s more so. They haven't really done much music past the late 90s, but throughout the 90s, they did some good music, but they are still a very underrated band. Even back then, they were only known for music they did for a couple soundtracks here and there, but they've done some great music over the years. And coming number 10, this is the band called the Mighty Mighty Bosstones. And I will say, if you've never listened to the Mighty Mighty Bosstones, I recommend you actually check out the band. Seriously. They have some really awesome songs. And I really enjoy them. They don't have quite so much the more traditional feel. And not just, though, are they considered alternative, they do have certain elements in some of their songs of actually a little bit of a punk type feel in some of their music. But for most part, yes, they are alternative. And they are a really cool band. I recommend you check out the Mighty Mighty Bosstones. Coming at number 9 is a band that became known more towards like the mid-2000s. Around like 2004, 2005 time frame. Their first album came out around that time period. And did a particular, sadly this band is really only known for one major hit they had on their first album. And that song is called Hate Me. So now, you probably know who the band is. Blue October. Blue October is a really great band, and they have different sound, different style in each of their albums. And that's one thing I like. Justin, the frontman of Blue October, pretty awesome, and their music style is definitely alternative because they like to experiment with different sounds, different styles, and they're very much an underrated band, to be honest. It's sad more people don't know of Blue October, because if you mention Hate Me, a lot of people know of the song You Hate Me, but they don't know much about the band. The band's really only known for that song in particular, though they've done other great songs. I mean, like Blue Skies, Should Be Loved, Dirt Room, 13th Floor Balcony, 18th Floor Balcony, whatever. But the point is, they have really great music, and I need to check out the new album, which they came out with just a few months back. But yeah, they produce really good music, and you should really check them out if you've never listened to Blue October. Coming at number 8 is a band that was pretty big back in the 1990s, more so. Though they did music in the early 2000s, though they're still around, just recently released a new album, which I still have yet to check out, and I need to. And this band is known particularly for songs like Shine. And of course, this band is called Collective Soul. They are awesome, really great alternative rock band. I think if you enjoy rock of the 90s and stuff, and you haven't heard Collective Soul, I highly recommend you check out the band. They have some really good sound, style. Some of their songs kind of feel like southern rock, and some of their songs feel like the type of rock from like the 70s. So they do have a mixture to their style and sound. And it's nice and refreshing. It's one thing. The 90s did have some good music, to be fair. Movies, yeah, not too many great movies of the late 90s, but music-wise, there was some pretty good rock music in the 90s. And metal. Coming in at number 7 is a great British band. They are technically considered a crossover, a punk alternative rock band. From England, they are called The Smiths. Now, easily their best well-known song is a song called How Soon Is Now? ? This song is better well-known, though, by a cover version done. That is done by a band called Love Split Love. Not as well-known, but their version of the song is better well-known because the Smiths song, the cover done by Love Split Love, ended up on the soundtrack of Cruel Intentions. It was also on the soundtrack of The Craft, and it became the main theme music for the 8-season TV series called Charmed. Though the last season they used the music and stuff from another cover version of the song, which was done by the Russian pop band Tattoo. But seriously, check out The Smiths. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. If you like good 80s rock and stuff, and like alternative music, and more traditional type punk and stuff of that time period, you should really check out The Smiths. Great band. Coming in at number 6 is hands down the second, probably most successful band. I'm sorry if you hear voices in the background. It's neighbors in the hallway which are causing a ruckus, so I apologize for that. But coming in at number 6 is a band called Pearl Jam. An amazing, great, what you would call, I guess, not just alternative, but also grunge. They were hands down the second most successful grunge band. Pearl Jam has done a lot of great songs over the years. Easily, though, they're known for a particular few, like Even Flow is definitely their best well-known song. And a great song, by the way, I might add. Even Flow is a great 90s rock song. But yeah, Pearl Jam at number 6. Number 5 is kind of a guilty pleasure of mine, band at number 5. And some people may not know they are considered alternative rock, but they are. And that is the band which became famous in 97 with their first album called My Own Prison. Second album would come out in 99 called Human Clay, and their third album would be called Weathered. And then finally in 2010, after reuniting for a short time, they would produce a fourth album called Full Circle. And that is the band Creed, coming in at number 5. I've always loved Creed. I can't help it. Some people will admit, of their albums, Weathered is definitely probably their weakest out of their 4 albums. I think actually Full Circle is a stronger album than really Weathered is. Though the album did produce like at least 2 or 3 good songs. I mean, Weathered, the song was great. Bullets was a really well done song. And Guilty Pleasure song of mine from the album, One Last Breath. But personally, of course, my favorite album, hands down, is Human Clay. For songs like Higher, What If, Inside Us All, Faceless Man, of course, With Arms Wide Open, And the first album was incredible too, with songs like One, In America, My Own Prison, The Song. Great albums. And I feel that Creed is overly hated. Yes, they are somewhat overrated. I will agree. They do have their flaws. But I still like their music. They're easily my number one favorite rock band of the late 90s. Okay, so my taste has gotten better over the years, but I still appreciate Creed for what they did and some of the songs they produced. And also being influential in an amazing movie called Titan A.E. Coming in at number 4 is considered basically the daddy of grunge. Hands down the most successful grunge band ever. And that is, of course, Nirvana or Nirvana, however you want to pronounce it. I say Nirvana, though. But, great band, and Kurt Cobain, it really is a tragedy what happened to him those many years ago. But the interesting thing is people don't realize, if it wasn't, though, for what did happen, I don't think Nirvana music would be as big as it is today. But one thing I will say is I hate is hipsters wearing Nirvana shirts, and then I tell them it's that what happened to Kurt Cobain, and they're like, who's Kurt Cobain? And I'm just thinking, seriously, you're wearing a Nirvana shirt, you don't even know who the hell Kurt Cobain is? Seriously? You don't deserve to wear that Nirvana shirt if you have no clue who Kurt Cobain is. Or what happened. Because it's sad that he was not able to handle the fame. There are conspiracy theories also out there about Kurt Cobain, but I think it's sad because he really was talented as a musician. And really, Nirvana really became the figurehead of the grunge movement from Seattle. But they produced a lot of great songs, and not just Teen Spirit. My personal favorite song from the band is called Come As You Are. A really great, little bit eerie style song, but it's an incredible song. And really, I feel that it's sad that a lot of younger people don't listen to bands like Nirvana or in general alternative music. Alternative is better than most of your mainstream crap of today, hands down. Coming in at number 3 is actually a band that most people don't realize they're a pop alternative band. Most people don't realize they're considered alternative, though now they seem to be leaning towards more pop techno, sadly. And that is the British band Coldplay at number 3. Coldplay is really good, by the way. I liked Coldplay way before they were mainstream, like the hipsters listen to now. Though Viva La Vida is easily my favorite album from 2007. But their first album was incredible with songs like Yellow and many other great songs. Though I think probably their second studio album is easily pretty much neck and neck with Viva La Vida. I mean, producing great songs like The Scientist or other great songs. I mean, Coldplay's done some really good albums, though I don't like really them after 2010. I feel their music started going downhill. There's only a few songs here and there I like of their newer music. Mainly, was it Princess of China or something like that with Rihanna, and the overly played, but I still like Paradise. Coming in at number 2 is a tie between two great alternative bands. The first is an incredible alternative band, more so for the 80s and 90s, but was influential in the 90s goth movement. I know from given I went through the goth phase in the 90s. This band is called The Cure. Incredible band, and easily their best album is called Disintegration. Easily their best song also, at least for me. Also, I really like from that album Love's Song. Another great song from the band, but if you've never listened to The Cure, I highly recommend you check them out, especially check out their album Disintegration. Which, by the way, the song Disintegration was featured on Marvel's Ant-Man movie. With part of the fight scene in the what was it, in the fight scene inside that briefcase and stuff between Ant-Man and Yellow Jacket. Check it out. Tied with them at number 2 is another great band, front by the man, which is, of course, the frontman of Tool, and that is an incredibly underrated band called A Perfect Circle. A Perfect Circle is an incredible band. Hands down, insanely awesome and great. If you've never listened to A Perfect Circle, check out their album, The 13th Step. It's probably, I would say, tied with being my favorite rock album of all time, easily. And all 3 of their albums, it's insane, they only produced 3 albums, just like Nirvana, interestingly. But the band never really made it too big mainstream. Really, their best well-known song is a great song, but not their best, a song called The Outsider. But there's many other great songs off the album, like Blue, Weak and Powerless, The Package, Gravity. There's just so many great songs off that album. Okay, here's honorable mentions. Red Sun Rising, Finger 11. Trying to remember one of the others. Oh yeah, Foo Fighters. The Calling. And last but not least, honorable mention, Chumbawamba. And trust me, you may not know who they are, but you definitely probably have heard one of their particular songs by Chumbawamba. Oh yeah, 2 other honorable mentions. R.E.M. and Our Lady Peace. And actually a tie for number 1. First is an alternative pop band, which is incredible, and really experimented with techno, electronica, and stuff back in the 80s before it became big, towards the late 90s into millennia. And that is the band Depeche Mode, which is insanely good. Get a chance to check out, I believe it's their 1986 album called Black Celebration, which featured a song which became better well known through a cover that would be done later on by Rammstein, a song called Stripped, which is really great. And tied with them is easily my favorite rock band of all time, and that is Dream Theater, which has been around for now like 30 years. They've been a band, 3 decades and going, and they just recently released a new album. In fact, it was a double album concept with like 34 tracks, which I've only started listening to, and it's a really great album. But if I was to recommend a more recent over the years albums to check out from Dream Theater, definitely one I would have to recommend is Black Cloud's Silver Lining. Is definitely a great album. Only 6 tracks and the album's over like 70 some minutes long. That's one thing, you have to be used to long period songs with Dream Theater, because they have songs that are known for 20 minutes plus. Trust me, they're not your standard type of, they're very much an instrumental type band, and they do great songs. I mean, there's like a whole freaking list of songs, which I will be doing in the future, a top 10 Dream Theater songs list. So stay tuned for that. And as always, this is Goku-san DBZ. Hope you enjoyed top 10 alternative bands list. And leave a comment below. Tell me who your favorite alternative band is, pop or rock. And follow me at twitter.com/GokuSunDBZ, as well as on Google+. And please just give me feedback. I want to hear your all's opinions and what some of your favorite songs are from these particular bands as well. And also, if you know of any alternative bands I haven't heard of, leave a comment also and let me know about them, and I'd be more than glad to listen and check out their music here on YouTube. And I'll see you tomorrow for top 10 WrestleManias in honor of WrestleMania 32 tomorrow. And I'll see y'all next time. Also, I'll be working on next day another comic book review, which will be Spawn 258. So stay tuned for that. Until next time, have a good weekend, guys.